This is One on One with Jasper Cole, Hollywood's bad guy, and so much more. Actor, talent manager, producer, and more. Now he's sitting down with today's top newsmakers from entertainment, politics, pop culture, and beyond. This is One on One with Jasper Cole.
Woo-hoo! All right. Howdy, everyone, and welcome to One on One with Jasper Cole. This is your host, Mr. Jasper Cole, coming to you live from Sunset Gower Studios right here in Hollywood, California. And let me give a shout out. I've got both producers in the studio today, starting with Mr. John Williams. Hey, buddy.
Hey, Jasper. Good to hear from you.
And I believe we have Dominic Fries in there as well, right?
He is. And in fact, our guests are just here as well. So we're going to get them in the green room. And then Dominic is coming back in. I think he's meeting with them in just a second.
Oh, perfect. Well, let's remind everyone our special guests today it's going to be actor, writer, singer, director, producer, former soap star Michael Damian and his lovely wife Janine Damian. And they're here to talk about their brand new movie called High Strung. And I can't wait to hear all the details about it. It's opening April 8th, and it looks like a really beautifully shot film. And
it really does. I was just looking through all the pictures and all the trailers and stuff. And I was just like, wow, that's really beautifully done.
Yeah, I love those. I like that genre of film, because it's, I mean, you can go everywhere from Pitch Perfect, you know what I mean, all the way back to Fame back in the day. I'm just aged myself. But anyway, I want to give a shout out, of course, to all of our listeners in Detroit at WROM that are listening tonight. This is our second official show there, although we previewed a week earlier with Shirley Ralph. But anyway, shout out to Detroit. And also, please, everyone, follow us on Facebook at One on One with Jasper Cole. Twitter is One on One J Cole. And, of course, you can go to my website, jaspercole.com, and when you go there, go to the ubnradio.com icon, and you will see that we have many wonderful sponsors. We have two new ones, Pet 360, and we also have Bentley Dog Products, and here are the amazing other sponsors.
All of us here at One on One with Jasper Cole are proud to announce our 25 affiliate advertisers, and they are all .coms. eFile, Interserver, ZipRecruiter, Hilton Hotels, 3-Day Blinds, Adam and Eve Toys, Bullguard, Prime Slots, Russell Stover, Booking.com, Suzanne Summers Bath and Beauty, Quest Nutrition, Sur La Table, and Extended Stay America.
Additionally, we have EUK Host, Canvas World, Cheap Air, 21st Century, Liberty Mutual, Course Smart, Advanced Auto, Fandango, Meet Mindful, Flair Play, and Jewelry.com. Thanks again to all of our wonderful sponsors. And now back to the show.
Yes, indeed. We're so grateful to have our sponsors. And once again, we're so grateful to be coming to you also from WROM in Detroit. So anyway, guys, it's been kind of another sad day in the world. We want to send our condolences and our prayers out to everyone in Brussels and Belgium. These fucking terrorists, it just keeps happening over and over again.
Yeah, it's
really sad. I mean, it's almost like this one almost went textbook in terms of, Friday night they arrested the guy that was the Paris bombing suspect that they've been trying to find, and it's almost as if they arrested him and then he put this other plan into action, which clearly, I'm sure, it had been in the works for quite some time. These things don't just happen overnight. But
and also what's interesting, I think, is how the presidential candidates have responded. It says a lot about them as well, and it's interesting because obviously Obama was in Cuba and he maintained his schedule there. And got a lot of criticism, mainly from Trump, I believe.
Right.
What are your thoughts on that?
Well, he got criticized for being at a baseball game, and it's so funny. It's like if the bombing had not happened, I don't think anyone would be criticizing. So Ann Coulter, one of the pundits, was trying to compare it to.
Is she a pundit now?
She needs to eat a cheeseburger is what she needs to do. She's actually over with John Phillips on KABC 790 filling in for Jillian Barberie today.
What?
I thought, well, that's quite a replacement. Jillian Barberie to Ann Coulter.
Lord have mercy. I mean, are his ratings that bad? Or
I don't quite understand gay Republicans in general. So,
wow. Well, I mean, I've never really considered her a pundit.
oh no. Well, I guess she's an author. I didn't know today she revealed she's also an attorney. I didn't know that, but she talked about that. But anyway, I think they were criticizing Obama, and my whole thing is what does this have to do? You know, like Obama has anything to do with the terrorists blowing up train station and an airport in Brussels?
Correct, absolutely. And I think, obviously, his business in Cuba wasn't limited to a baseball game, and there's just as important down there, and the progression of politics between us and Cuba. He's going to be sitting at the White House. Just getting updates, which he's going to get down there. So I think that the criticism was unwarranted, in my opinion. But
well, I thought. What do you think? I thought it was an amazing, just his trip to Cuba. How groundbreaking!
No, absolutely.
That whole trip is. I actually one of those. I'm dying to go to Havana, and see it. Bill Weir did a fascinating series on CNN on Friday night. He has that series where he travels. It just ironically, the first episode of the season happened to be on Havana and Cuba. Oh, wow. So it was beautiful.
And speaking of politics, there's been a lot of shakeup. I mean, it's so interesting, especially in the Democratic side, what's going on, with Hillary and Bernie between the caucuses and the primaries, because in the caucus states, Bernie is blowing her out of the water.
Right.
And in the primary states, he got Michigan. She's getting some wins, but there's a lot of rumblings about voter fraud. What was going on in Arizona was so, it just can't be overlooked anymore. There was 60 polling stations for the state with one of the largest number of delegates.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about Bernie, and I've made it clear that I switched from being, as I've said before, I support Hillary and Bernie. I would prefer Bernie. So, but if Hillary gets the nomination, of course, I'll be happy for that. But it is funny how they every time they want to count him out, he keeps coming back and winning a primary or a caucus. Like last night. Well,
the caucuses are harder to rig.
Right.
Where, obviously when they're the primaries, those are the easier ones for them to manipulate. So it's interesting that this is happening between, where his success is with the caucuses versus the primaries.
Exactly. Well, I mean, I know the Bernie campaign they're looking towards California upcoming primary as being. What are your thoughts on California? Do you think Bernie has a chance of taking California?
I think that California may be his turning point because, in San Diego, the numbers were incredible. I mean, he had over 10,000 people at his rally. They were turning people away. Tonight's the same in LA. I'm actually going there, and after the show. So I think hopefully this could be his turning point.
Well, that's exciting. Yeah, because like I said, even as a Bernie supporter after last Super Tuesday and she took all 5 states, I was kind of like, well, it's inevitable she's going to get the nomination. I had sort of like thrown the towel in on Bernie, but then after last night and also Michigan,
Well, if they would just hurry up with her indictment, then we wouldn't be having this conversation.
I mean, see, my whole thing is I don't want to, because I like both candidates. We're so fortunate on the Democratic side that I think a lot of Democrats, even Bernie supporters, will not be devastated if Hillary gets the nomination, unlike with the fucking train wreck that's going on the Republican side. I think it's a sad day when they're excited about Ted Cruz.
Well, I actually have to clarify that the true burners at heart will be devastated, because the reason why we truly believe in the changes that he wants to make, and we truly believe that this is, the time is now to do that. So that's not going to happen with Hillary.
But do you think the worst thing I fear is that the Bernie supporters are not going to vote for Hillary, and that would be a travesty because
the Bernie supporters really follow politics and really want change in the world and the best for it.
Right.
But we can't just give up and be like, oh well, let's all support Hillary, as a unified front right now, because Bernie still has a chance. And
no. I mean, if she gets the nomination,
we're only 50% through the delegates right now.
Yeah, and it's not that she only has how many more? 300 or 400? It's not that.
Yeah.
It's not that many more.
I mean, it's mainstream media is trying to skewer it like, oh, it's there's no chance in hell, but we know how.
Isn't the super delegates part of the issue?
Well, yeah, but you got to remember.
Well, they always are.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to remember that those are some are pledged votes.
Yeah.
They can always change as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that whole super delegate. Someone needs to, I think, do a whole TV special just on the super delegates and explain to all of us exactly how that works, because it's kind of. I'm kind of in the gray area about it, and I kind of know about it, but it's.
I'll send you a video on that. I watched it one. They did a little news report on that and how it all works. So
yeah, it's fascinating because it just shows you it's not really about who gets the most votes and who gets. Well, that's the popular vote. That's always bothered me too. That even in the general election, that the popular vote doesn't win the election.
Why don't we call up Al Gore?
Exactly. Which, again, the Supreme Court, I think, wasn't Scalia one of the main ones that it was his vote that put Bush in office back then, and
may he rest in peace.
May he rot in hell, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, no, well, I do wonder, are we ever going to find out what really happened with his death?
It was very strange, wasn't it? It was just all kind of like body was, buried or cremated or whatever. No autopsy. Let's just get this. Let's just get this body out of here.
Yeah, it was phoned in by a judge who never saw it. I mean, it's just like the whole.
I'm not familiar with it. I didn't really read up on it.
Oh no, there's a really interesting story about it. He's a member of a secret society, and that's why he didn't have Secret Service with him. But that whole secret society is in question, a bit questionable as well.
Shady, yeah. It was a hunting, wasn't it a hunting lodge or some sort of hunting trip they were on?
Sure, let's go with
that. What they were hunting, we don't know, right? Well, and that segues over to Obama nominating his, Merrick Garland for the Supreme Court, and of course. Mitch McConnell has said, absolutely, we're not even going to take a look at this, which is, again, the Republicans acting like the spoiled, entitled, petulant children on the playground that they are.
Yeah, it's like, do your fucking job.
Well, did you see that just 2 weeks earlier, prior to the announcement, Mitch McConnell had praised Merrick Garland and basically said, well, I mean, if he was going to nominate someone like Merrick Garland, that would be different. Of course, not knowing that 2 weeks later,
right.
He did. So suddenly 2 weeks later, he's not good anymore. But 2 weeks earlier, he was the perfect nominee.
And Jasper, I do have to bring up, because you are a native Georgian, this bill that's currently on the governor's desk that is basically a license to discriminate.
The Religious Freedom Bill.
Yeah, and how they passed that through just under the wire so quickly. It's like taking us back 30 years.
Yeah, and I'm going to name drop a little bit here, but Brian Kemp, the current Secretary of State in Georgia, we graduated from high school together, and we are in contact on Facebook, and it's fascinating how I can reach out to him and complain about certain things, and in a typical politician fashion, I will hear back sometimes, well, these aren't my personal beliefs, but I represent constituents, or I represent the majority of people in the state. And I'm always thinking, God, that must just be, I don't know how they really live with themselves when they're kind of playing a character, I guess, and not voting with their heart They're just voting to keep their job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting. I was thinking the irony because a friend of our show who had actually been on, Donsley Abernathy, her brother, the former senator Ralph David Abernathy III, passed away a few days ago. The funeral is actually tomorrow in Atlanta, and the irony, obviously their whole family is part of the civil rights movement.
Oh, sure.
And have worked hard to continue their father's legacy, encompassing all civil rights. They're very supportive of LGBT rights. And the irony that his funeral is tomorrow and this bill is on the governor's desk that is literally just could take away these rights.
Right.
It's embarrassing as someone that's from Georgia because again, like my father's there and he's a diehard Democrat liberal, and it's just there. I have so many friends that live there that are not representative of this kind of bigotry, but unfortunately, the South already has that somewhat reputation. But yeah, we do of course want to send our condolences to Donsley. She was one of our early guests last year when we debuted the show. So our hearts go out.
And just we do want to give our support to Disney, who
I was going to say the corporations that are
that are basically going to take their business out of Atlanta if this bill gets signed.
Exactly.
Well, and a lot of people realize now Atlanta has just become a huge industry town, not just in show business,
Atlanta
but in all other areas,
And speaking of businesses that should take their business out, I'm hoping Tyler Perry will step up to the plate.
Well, I don't know. He's too busy narrating The Passion on Fox on Sunday night. So did anybody see that?
I did not. No. But what's interesting? I was looking on HRC. There's 28 states that have anti-LGBT bills introduced. 28.
Yep.
Well, how about, let's address the anti-gay laws that are the old ones that are on the books still about discriminating against employment and stuff. Where I think isn't California one still that you can be fired?
Oh, yeah, in terms of employment, yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those antiquated. So we can get, all of us liberals can get beat our chest about Georgia and these places, and yet we've got our laws in our own backyard that are just as discriminatory.
Correct.
They're not current, and no one's reminding us of them.
Correct. But our guest is waiting in the green room, and we're so excited that he's here. Soap fans know him probably best as Danny Romalotti from
over 18 years on The Young and the Restless.
And he's here and going to give us an update of all his current projects and his film that's releasing on April 8th called High Strung. And so I think we're gonna play a trailer, right, JW, of the film. Produced also by his wife Janine. So we're gonna take our break. We'll play the trailer, and when we come back, we'll be joined by Michael and Janine Damian. You're listening to One on One with Jasper Cole. We'll be right back.
I can't remember when I started dancing. It's always just been who I am.
The music is always there, burning inside me. If it stays trapped within, I will be consumed.
Good luck. Thank you.
Watch where you're going next time.
What's your name?
Ruby.
I'm Johnny.
You live upstairs? These are my roommates with the Switch That crew.
You might have heard of us.
I know you're trying to get a handle on my style, but without contemporary, you can't be competitive in the professional world, and that just won't fly with the store.
Don't you have a sexy little dress? You want to stand out.
You look stunning.
Oh, it's you. I didn't think you were the tux type.
I'm just a server.
Crazy idea. You could enter into this contest. Winner gets $25,000 and scholarship to the Manhattan Conservatory of the Arts.
What a plan.
So you want us to dance with you in a classical shindig?
Yes.
We're up against Kyle and April, one of MC's best dancers.
April and I always have to annihilate you both.
The answer is dance, no matter what.
Pull yourself together.
Don't just dance, screw it, feel it.
Harder, sharper.
You're back one-on-one with Jasper Cole.
All right. Howdy, everyone. Welcome back to One-on-One with Jasper Cole. And I'm joined in studio by my producers, Mr. John Williams.
Hello.
Dominic Friesen.
What's up?
And we're so happy to welcome our very special guest today, the one and only Mr. Michael Damian.
Oh, thank you. Hold the applause. Really. No, don't hold it. Wait, keep applauding. No, don't stop.
Hey, buddy, how are you?
I'm doing great. I like the extra microphone. Can I use 2 microphones?
No.
Just kidding. This is awesome.
I think originally we were thinking your beautiful wife Janine was going to be joining you. So
I know my solid gold, writing producer wife, but I'm sorry. She was like, first of all, she said, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "What do you mean? What am I doing? I'm going back to the office." She's like, "No, you have to get in the car. You have to go all the way to Hollywood and move it." I was like, "Oh, okay, you're right.
You got to promote it.
Yeah, you got to move it or lose it." And so, Janine, I wish I'm gonna channel her. So if you have any questions for her, I've been authorized to answer them. Yes, I've danced with Michael Jackson, Prince, Lionel Richie, Footloose, Annie. That's anyway. I'm just giving you her credit. So
first of all, let's congratulate you on a successful Hollywood marriage to start with, because
thank you.
We're going back 1998.
Well, yeah, we met in 1983.
Oh my God!
I was only 2 years old then.
Of course,
we were in. We had the little side by side cribs, and we met in the 80s when my hair was tall, and hers was big, and
shoulder pads.
She was on solid gold. She was like a solid gold dancer. I was, Danny Romolotti, as you said earlier, on The Young and the Restless, and doing my rock and roll, rock on, tours and that kind of thing. And we, we just. I met her. What's really wild is that I met her on an airplane. It was a chartered plane to Utah for the Osmonds Children's Miracle Network telethon, and it was all filled with celebrities. And I get on the plane and I see this blonde girl, and she's got her arm around James Best, otherwise known as Roscoe from the Dukes of Hazzard. And I'm like, oh, James Best, man, you got yourself a. Oh man, but that's typical in Hollywood, right?
Right.
My brother after the, you stay up all night on telethons, and I talked to her for, I was like, oh my gosh, she's so beautiful. And I'm looking over my shoulder for the guy from the Dukes of Hazzard, and then later my brother, we're flying back, and he says, "So what do you think of that solid gold dancer?" I'm like, "Oh, she's gorgeous. Are you kidding? I'm crazy about her, but she's with that guy from the Dukes of Hazzard." And he's like, my brother's like, "You idiot, that's her dad." And I was like, "Oh,
wow,
Yahoo!"
Well, like you said, in Hollywood, you're used to seeing, older guys and younger women. So
So I mean, and I was, I loved him on the show, so I didn't want to disrespect Roscoe and say, "Hey, hey, move over." So we met back then, and then she had her amazing dancing career, and I was doing the music thing, which is kind of that's sort of the nucleus behind High Strung, the dance movie music, because it's really dance and music. It's a fusion film with a ballerina and a hip hop violinist and a street crew, that how their three worlds sort of collide in New York City, and they're young and restless and passionate. And
well, I have to ask you, because you're the writer, you're the director, you're the producer. Where did this idea come from, if you don't mind telling us?
Well, it came from Janine. When she was 14, she got a scholarship to the School of American Ballet, Balanchine's company in New York City, and she was an extraordinary, ballerina. And so it's loosely based on her journeys when she was in New York, and it was in the Juilliard building. So there was always violinists, and there was this violinist that was busking, and then and then my love for music was, so when we, after this is our 13th movie, but we've been, it's so funny because we've been talking about making this movie it was like, we did Flicka, 2. We're like, okay, we got to make our passion project, the dance music film. And then we did Flicka Country Pride. Then we did Marley May the Puppy Years, The Princess for Christmas, Sweeter Side of Life. And so we kept saying, we have to make this movie. And then we finally said, okay, that's it. We're going to stop and sit down, write the passion project that we've been talking about for the last, 7 years. And so glad we did, because it's really been an incredible journey. Just the, finding our ballerina, Keenan Campa, the lead, was a bizarre, weird. I don't know if you heard the story on how we found her. And
no, I was thinking the casting's so great to start with. So how did you find her?
Well, the normal place, watching the Olympics. I was like, well, what the thing is, Janine being, a dance superhero, and just wanting it to be really good, and we didn't want to double anybody and do any cheaty weedy CG, flipping bodies on heads and arms on other people's toes, and that creepy stuff. No, but we wanted to we really wanted to make it legit and make it real, and so but that's a tall order, because a world-class ballerina is never going to be let out of a company to do a movie. That they just, and there's no like, oh, we'll catch her in her hiatus. You know what I mean? So they're like, either
24/7
in their suit, working. When a dancer takes off like a week or 2 weeks, that's like, a crime, So we were watching the Olympics, and it was from Sochi, and they did a thing on, Mary Carruthers did a piece on the importance of ballet in Russia.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know if you remember this piece, but
I think I remember.
Do you remember? Actually. Well, they said, and we have an American. She's the only American that's ever been accepted to the Mariinsky Ballet Company of Russia, and her name is Keenan Campa. She's from Washington D.C. and they start talking to her. Mary's, and we're like, okay, do you see her? And Janine's looking at me on the couch, and she's doing the, I don't know if you can see me, but she's doing this kind of stuff. She's like gripping, oh my, and then they show a clip of her with her leg going, her feet and her extension and flying through the air. And so she's like, are you thinking what I'm thinking? I'm like, yes, but she's in Russia. What are we supposed to do? So I go on my computer and I type in, Google search, IMDb Pro, Keenan Campa, manager, and I can't find anything. I can't find a manager. I can't find an agent. And so I did the old fashioned thing. I found her on Twitter. And
of course, yes.
So I tweeted her and I said, thank goodness I'm verified. And I said, have you ever wanted to be in a dance movie? And if you want to, please, write me back. And she wrote back immediately, yes, can you please tell me more?
Awesome.
So it was that kind of I know, it was, and
thank God for Twitter, right?
It's
something good finally came from it.
Yeah, it was one of those things. And so, and then we found our brooding British hip hop violinist, played by the wonderful Nicholas Galitzine. He's, believe it or not, actually Greek Russian royalty, but he's British, and he's one of the from the Galitzine. People were like, oh, is he from the royal family? I'm like, yes, he is actually. Wow. But he's not playing a prince. He's playing a brooding, loner violinist, hip hop violinist in New York City, busking in the subways, and then of course the beautiful, glorious Jane Seymour was actually the first person to come on board.
Love her.
And she's
Oksana?
amazing. Yeah, she plays the tough love teacher, the contemporary dance teacher, and we were shooting a movie called The Sweeter Side of Life, Love by Design, and she said, I love Jane. She's like, okay, so what's next? I'm like, well, we're making a dance movie. Well, good, I'm in. Well, we don't have the script. I'm a former dancer. I want to do it. What am I doing?
Wow.
So,
God, that's so fortunate, right?
Yeah, because you need, and then after Jane was the first person on board, and we literally were on the set and finishing that movie in Romania, where we shoot pretty much everything nowadays, and
right,
because we do the interiors there, and then we go to New York and shoot the exteriors and that kind of thing, which just seemed to work out well. And plus, the reason why we did this as well, because the Bucharest National Ballet Theater was the only company that would give us their dancers, and they're world class. So all the I don't know if you saw in the school and anytime you saw a ballerina, you saw these insane like world class ballerinas or ballet dancers, in the movie throughout, and those are all
It's a real deal. Right?
Yeah. We can just shoot anything at any time, and every foot's going to be perfect, and every arm and extension, and every leap is going to be gorgeous, and none of these. Oh, are you kidding? Because if you show a ballerina, like that really knows, anybody who knows this stuff, when there's something bad, they freak out. There's no. In hip hop, there's a little more forgiveness because it's very free. There's freestyle. It's like, well, no, I meant it like that. But in ballet, as you know, if the foot isn't pointed perfectly and the extension in the hand and the, you know what I mean, and the whole thing, it's like people they shudder. There's like a revolt.
and so the film opens across the country April 8th.
April 8th, yes, in theaters, yes.
And you just returned yesterday. You guys are doing really grassroots, on the road, city by city touring, correct?
This is the most grass. Do you see how green I am right now? I'm like mooing. Well, we had this crazy idea, and it sounds like, like the Partridge Family. Wasn't it? We had this dream, we go traveling together, share a lot of love. So what we thought, okay, my brother and sister-in-law, they have this awesome Prevost coach, and it's 45 feet, and they said, we want to wrap the Prevost with the high-strung body art and go on tour.
It looks beautiful. I'm looking at it right now.
Isn't it? You know what?
Yeah,
it's
gorgeous.
Rolling art. Literally, people are, hey, truckers, honk.
Yeah.
And it's not because get out of the way. They're like literally like with the thumb up. Yo!
Yeah.
So, and it's been really just so, oh, look at that beautiful music. I love it. It sounds so relaxing. It's almost like a spa music. That's our spa. By the way, sponsored by Lovely Massages. I don't know if you can hear our lovely music.
Massage Envy.
Massage Envy. I love that place. So get this. So we took off 5 weeks ago, and we went to dance schools, dance conventions, and we rolled into these cities, and it was incredible. We pulled up. Just pulling up. I remember the first school, Salt Lake City, not being prepared for the kids running out and just like going insane.
I saw that on your Twitter. You had a lot of pictures on there.
And you see the clips, and it kept growing and growing.
Yeah.
Literally by the time we got, to where we got to schools, and there was 2,000 kids.
Wow.
Going high strong. You know what I mean? And we let them dance, and then we let the dance, and then we said, hey, you know what? We're gonna make high strung too. So you want to dance for us? And the kids, and so all the schools organized giant open call dance auditions, so the kids could dance for us. So we got their information. We know how to find them. I've got great video clips on these kids, and then we ran a nationwide contest for with Sweetie High to for these winners to come and dance at the premiere at the Chinese Theater on Tuesday night.
Oh wow! That's
with with the Nia Sue from Dance Moms, the young girl from Dance Moms. Has a song on the soundtrack called DJ Fave, and she's going to dance with these kids, and they're really excited.
Oh, wow, I love it.
So that was all part of the Magical Mystery Tour that we just...
And so how many cities did you actually end up doing?
We did about 30 in 40 events in 5 weeks. So we were rolling.
Well, thank you for being here today, because you just got back last night.
Thank you so much.
Well, you got it.
Now, Michael, this is your 8th time directing? I was trying to add up how many films... or have you lost count at this point?
Well, it's actually 13 because there was my first was a short film that I did, and then I did a pilot in France called Red Eye that we created for me it was actually for me as an actor, but we couldn't find a director, so I was like, okay, you know what, I'll direct it, because we were like in France, and it was like we had to shoot it or it was not going to happen, and our partners came to me and they said, we have a director. I'm like, oh great, who? You. And I was like, oh, and I'd already done a short film. I'd been studying working on. My first thing was when I was doing Young and the Restless, I bought a couple, back when it was film, I bought a couple Airflex film cameras, and I was shooting all the time and cutting and, the old fashioned way, developing it, exposing it by accident, you know what I mean? But, so I learned all the stuff that you don't do anymore, but no, you learn so much. And I wanted to learn all those aspects so that, that one day I could, communicate with everybody and work with the team and know what the heck I was talking about, and
so you had sort of had this plan in your mind working when you were an actor that directing was something you were definitely going to segue into.
Yeah, it was. I remember it was so weird. We were in, believe it or not, Aspen in the summer, and we were, Janine and I were at this little inn, a B&B or something, and it was during the music festival, and I just had this this thing hit me, and I don't know, I was like, I need to make a movie. I need to start, it was, I don't know, it just came to me. I had to do it, and from that day forward, I that was the beginning, and then just kept working on it and trying to get better and better. And High Strung, I'd like to, High Strung 2, I'd like to make it even better.
Well, I have to say, I loved A Princess for Christmas.
Oh, thank you.
It was on the Hallmark Channel.
Yes.
And it re-aired this past holiday season.
Mm-hmm.
We were all in tears.
Thank
watching
you.
It, but it was a
Thank
great
you.
movie.
Oh, thank you.
You're doing a sequel right now, or trying to?
Well, they've done a few. Well, they've done. What happened is Janine and I wrote a kind of a spin-off of it, a Royal Christmas.
Okay.
But we couldn't make it because we were in pre-production on High Strung. That's when we said. Remember, that's it. We've got to do our project, our dream project.
Okay.
So we wrote the story, and then another director made the film. But we really, we love writing together.
Mm-hmm.
We love creating, and what's so cool is that I love working with actors, and I love music. So it's so great to be, I'm involved in all aspects, and working with composers and songwriters, and the cinematographer and the sound design, and it's just fun to create all those fun things. It's you're involved way more obviously than as an actor.
Do you miss daytime at all?
Only in the nighttime. No, just kidding. Well, I had such a great time on the show, but I had a really good run, and I just really, I want to do so much more that I can't just get up and go to the same studio every day, kind of a thing. You know what I mean? Like we fly, we travel. I mean, what's so cool is we go, hey, you know what? Let's shoot this here, and it happens, and you go on this wild adventure. But I really loved, playing Danny on the show, and I pop in, periodically if it works out timing wise in the story. And I told the writers know that if there's something, I was just there. Unfortunately, I was there for a sad occasion when Jeannie Cooper passed away.
Oh yeah, that was sad.
Mrs. Chancellor, who I love, Jeannie. By the way, I don't know if very few people know this story, but I was with Jeannie Cooper. For those of you who don't know, Jeannie Cooper played Mrs. Chancellor. She was the matriarch. She was on Young and the Restless from day one, like 1973, the first episode.
Wow.
And Jeannie Cooper was so funny. I did a charity with her in Mississippi, and it was a fundraiser, and it was one of those things. I don't know, but it was a very odd mashup. But I was with Mrs. Chancellor at Jeannie at this event, and she calls me in the room. And it's a black tie event, and I'm getting ready, and I get this phone call, and it's like, Michael, it's Jenny. What is it? Come to my room. I need your help. I'm like, okay. I was like worried. I go in there, and she's like, I don't have. There's so much humidity. Look at my hair. You've got great hair. Help me out. So I took the blow dryer, and I used my 80s technique. If you did the blow dryer and the hairspray simultaneous, you know what I'm talking about? Cauterizing it to get it straight up, you know, tall hair. So I did Jeannie Cooper's hair, and it was, I thought it was pretty awesome at the time, but so we went to the black tie together, walked in there, and
I love it.
Yeah, I know the union will probably be upset that I did it, but hey, it was desperate. We were in Mississippi. It was 99% humidity, and but being on the show and of course we went back for the couple episodes, and I sang on the show at the memorial on YNR, but That was the last time I was over there.
Well, I've been friends with Tom Beards for almost 20-something years. In fact, when I met TJ, as we call him, he actually was just starting on Y&R, and I always said to him, you guys were on, I think, in the late 80s and through the early 90s, I think were some of the heyday of soaps. But, Beth Maitland and Trisha Cast, you just had such amazing actors that were on the show as well.
Oh, Tom is great. I hope he's well. I miss him. I haven't seen him in quite a while. Is he in LA or is he still?
Well, he moved up to Lake Arrowhead. He's an amazing artist, a painter.
I heard.
Does really
I actually have a
amazing
piece
work.
of his at my house.
Oh, wow. I would love to see it. Is it online? Is it Tom Beards? Is it?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, I think he has his website. Speaking of, you also have michaeldamian.com, correct?
Yeah, but I'm a little bit, I got to be honest, it's a little bit antiquated because...
But you have a site for the film.
movie.
Everything has kind of been at highstrungthemovie.com, and we've got some really cool stuff. We've got this amazing group discount thing where if you do, because what's happened is all these dance groups and drama, departments and all these people we've been, the schools we've been hitting, they're going as a big group, which is really awesome. So
great marketing.
There's a great discount if you do 25 or more. If you go to our website, highstrungthemovie.com.
It has all the cities where it's going to open at.
Click the city. Yeah, and we also just did a thing. We're mostly at AMC's. But here in LA, you got to go to the TCL Chinese Theater. That's where we'll be April 8th. That's going to be awesome. And then if we don't have the movie in your town, like let's say it's, I'm not sure where, but let's say pick a town that's, an abstract place that, doesn't come up all the time. You can actually tug it to your local theater on our website. You click it, say bring High Strung to my theater, and then it walks you right through it, and you can actually bring it to your city.
Oh, cool. Wow,
yeah, that's amazing. Well, I mean, in this film market today, it's so hard to even get a theatrical release. It seems like a lot of my friends that are producers, they're just thrilled if they get to on demand or if they get a DVD release. So congrats on getting this wide release that you guys have.
Well, thank you.
So how long have you guys been working on this film?
It's 2 years. It's 2 years to right about now.
Okay.
So we started, because of the because all the music had to be written and composed, written, recorded. The songs picked out because all the rehearsals, had to start after that, and then all the dancers. Once we did the worldwide search, L.A., New York, London, Paris, Bucharest, then they all came to Bucharest, and then our fabulous choreographer Dave Scott from So You Think You Could Dance, who's choreographed Step Up, Battle of the Year, Stomp the Yard, You Got Served. We did the audition together all over the worldwide search, and then we brought the 65 dancers to Bucharest, and then they started rehearsing. So between the pre-record and all the music set up and the rehearsals and then the shoot, and then we went to New York and did the other shoot. Then we did a aerial shoot as well of New York. We got some beautiful aerial shots of New York that I think are pretty cool. And then the post-production was super extensive because of the 13 dance numbers in the film.
It's a perfect title. Perfect title. High Strung incorporates the violin and also the high energy of the dance. I love it. And
thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's a little double entendre,
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, it doesn't translate. I got to be honest, it doesn't translate well in France. We had to change the title to Free Dance because High Strung. First of all, French do not pronounce the H and the st, and so. It doesn't. It's not a very good. So anyway, they say, could you please change can we come up with a title? So Janine, she's so brilliant. She's like, how about Free Dance? And they went, that's fantastic. So
well, because Janine and yourself, you guys live in France and here back and forth, right?
Well, we lived. Yes, we did yes, we did for. You're right. We did. You're good. We did for many years. We lived just outside of Paris. And so, but unfortunately, we're not there as much now. We're really between LA and Vegas.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And mostly in Vegas.
Vegas.
Yeah, they got. Hey, come on, Vegas is fun. Vegas is great. So we're there, and we, so we just we're mostly in. Yeah, like I said, we're mostly in Vegas, but we shoot in out of the country quite a bit.
Okay.
And So and what's really cool too.
So what is it about Vegas that keeps you there?
Well, we set up our company there, and we set up a lot of business there, and it's a good.
It's a good state to run a business, right? Tax wise
exactly.
and stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a good.
But also, Vegas has been really sort of reinvented over the last 10 years. Look at all the pop stars that have their shows there, and all the.
It's booming, isn't it? It's really rocking.
Yeah, it's become a great place to live and work. And I live also in Palm Springs, so everyone asks me how can you take the heat in the summer? But Vegas is pretty much the same climate in the summer. It gets pretty brutal, but you kind of get used to it, I guess.
Well, we try to get out.
That's when you come back here.
Get out of there, or go to Provence or somewhere else where it's not 115.
Right.
But hey, I wanted to tell you, are you going to be? I don't know if you're going to be in Palm Springs tomorrow, but we have a very special charity we're doing tomorrow. Special screening at 7:00 in Palm Springs at the Camelot.
Oh, the Camelot's a beautiful theater. Mm-hmm. I'm going to be here in LA.
Oh, okay. Well,
but
no.
But I can. But let's shout out to everyone in Palm Springs to.
So what time's the screening at?
It's going to be 7:00, and it's a fundraiser for the Desert Film Society.
Oh, wow.
And we're going to have Keenan Campa, our star, there. Comfort, who's the fabulous dancer from So You Think You Could Dance, who plays Pop-Tart. Marcus Mitchell, who plays Hayward, who, of course, is Taylor Swift's main dancer. So they're going to be at the special screening tomorrow. Janine and I will be there. We'll do a Q&A. But it's all going towards the Desert Film Society.
Awesome.
Oh,
awesome.
That's a great charity. Absolutely.
And once again, all those details are at the High Strung website.
We didn't actually post that, but but thank you. I just it's so localized for Palm Springs I didn't really. But now that you're saying that, we probably should have done something. Is there any way that they could just go hear you and just go?
Exactly.
It's not very expensive. It's like a movie ticket price, but
we'll post it.
Yeah, tweet it out.
That'd be great. We're not making anything on it. It's like I said, it's a fundraiser screening. So
love it.
We just
and your Twitter is Michael Damian, right?
Damian Wan.
Yeah. Is it Michael Damian 1?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Michael Damian 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because. The other Michael Damian, and then I have the real Michael Damian on Instagram, because somebody else, people think it's me and it's not me, and they have this pictures of me everywhere. So it's like sometimes I even think it's me, even though I'm like, wait a minute, I never posted that. I didn't post that picture. I never would have. I would have photoshopped it first. You know what I mean? So, but that would be great if you could tell everyone about the screening tomorrow night at 7.
And
that would be great.
Music.
Yes.
Well, Michael, the time goes so fast.
Oh my gosh.
I want to say again, congratulations. The movie looks. Let's give a shout out to your DP. Who is the cinematographer on this?
Isn't he great? His name is Viril Sergavici, and he's awesome. This is our 4th movie together, and I love him and his team, and they just killed it. It's literally everything is possible. And when I say Viril, I know there's subways and trains are blowing by, and can we get this skateboard cam to zoom over here? And he's like, I think we can make that happen. He just gives you that look. He's like, yeah, we're gonna make it happen.
Well, like you said, it's so important. I think directors, when you find the DP that you really click with, that is a marriage in a way. You want to keep because the look of the film is absolutely spectacular.
Oh, thank you. I'll tell him he's going to be here. They're flying in, and the production designer Mihai, he's the other unsung hero.
Yes,
like the lofts. You remember Johnny's loft? Just to give you a perspective, that was an abandoned beer factory. There's just 2 brick walls were in there.
Oh wow!
And we took over the beer factory, and he built all those lofts, decorated them, and created those environments. There was just two, but the walls were kind of cool with those windows and the outer structure. But he created all that, and he did it so fast and seamlessly. And I love those guys. They're really great. It's like it's like, yes, we can do it. That's why I love doing it with them.
But at the end of the day, I still say the director has the hardest job. Of course, it does take a village, but I have to give you props, my friend, because as an actor myself, I always say the director is the first one there, the last to leave, and you really did an amazing job on this movie. So bravo to you.
Thank
and
you
to
so much.
Janine as well.
Oh, she's actually she's the brainiac. I mean, she's so brilliant, and I just we have such a great time together. And boy, I'll tell you, in the editorial, she really kept me on my toes because she was like, "Wait, you cut right there! No, her hand's not extended. Get her 2 more frames. Two more frames. No, but I love that detail. That's what I want. Someone that look. I want to be around. I want to be around smarter people. That's all. I just always want people that are smarter than myself. Always. That's the best way to work. You know what I mean? Because it's just the only way to do it. So and she's so creative, and she's a great person, and it's great because we can share all these journeys together. Absolutely. Normally, it's like, how was your day? Like, you were with me, sitting next to me in the chair on the video tap. So
well, I think you guys fantastic. Everyone, again, it's Michael Damian. The film is High Strung, opening
Go see
April 8th. And buddy, come back anytime. Thanks again, everyone. JW, Dominic. We will see you next week, same time, same place. You've been listening to One on One with Jasper Cole.
Thanks for checking out One on One with Jasper Cole. Check out past episodes and get the latest as they're released. Subscribe today on iTunes, Stitcher, and YouTube.